So, I'm here to talk about the WNBA league standings here. This is the topic. Make the playoffs in the whole league. It's not based off conference or used to be where the top four teams made the playoffs. Non-conference, we know with 8 teams in the playoffs. So you had some teams that were better, than other teams, and they kind of watered down the playoffs a bit. So, which I can see. Anyways, we have Minnesota first with 18 record. They've lost a couple games lately. They lost to Chicago on Saturday yesterday, and they lost to Phoenix on Wednesday. And they squeaked by Minnesota on Chicago on Sunday. So, what do I think? Do I think Minnesota should be worried? Not too much. Minnesota has played 22 games during this season. And then they're just going to play one against Chicago, another on the 14th. And then play Phoenix again. They're just going to play 24 games before the All-Star break. So they've already played. They'll be playing the most games out of any team in the league. So that might help them out because then they can have breaks in between their games. So they're gonna have a lot more to what I mean, more resting teams. With some teams, coming off okay amount of rest, So, especially for the WNBA. So but Minnesota, I don't think they're too worried that much. They're number one league, so really solid team. So really great record. I think they'll be fine. Not Chicago. I don't think they'll let Chicago try to beat them again. And same with Phoenix. They got another one against Chicago on 27th after All-Star. They play Chicago a lot in a row, so they play Las Vegas. They play Atlanta, so yes, they play some tough games. So they play Chicago a lot. Play some top teams. So we have Minnesota. So Minnesota should be okay with being in number one. I don't know if they'll stay number one the whole season or whatnot. But I think they'll be number 2 we have Phoenix at 14-6. Phoenix should be okay. Obviously they should be okay making the playoffs. So I think they got Minnesota and Golden State. Valkyries. And they play Atlanta. New York. And Washington. So they have some good competition. Phoenix, I would say could be safely in second. New York had a hot start. They've cooled down a bit, so I don't know. I mean, the one about with Phoenix, she's been playing well with Phoenix. Honestly, she's been playing well with Phoenix. She has a couple games she's been it's not much, but she's a lot happier in Phoenix. That's good, and you can see that's a nice welcome addition. clarity. I've been struggling a little bit. They've been right in third place, 14 and 13 and 6. They've had less than their 4 and 6. They started at 9. They went to 4 and 6, which is not great, but they've had some tough games. But I think Europe will be fine. Going to be fine. The bounce back, they know what they're doing to win. They've been close in the playoffs. For a while, winning the finals. Won their first ever championship last year. Played really solid last year. Played solid then solid for the Sydney Rendell for the last few seasons. No worries, Seattle. I don't think Seattle should be too worried. Seattle's at 13. And Seattle is a good solid team. I don't see them playing all the way to the top of the league. Unless they can string together some wins. Some of the top teams, Minnesota start to fall a little bit. They have a big cushion. And win from a 5-game cushion. So, but in it now we got Atlanta, the Atlanta Dream. I think they'll be fine. They could easily go. It could easily be a team that's in second right now. Right now, they have 10. They've won a lot of games. They've lost some close games. By a point to Seattle. Team games they should have won, but they didn't win because of the fact that said go off game, but Carlos Semesco has really had his way, putting Brittany Reiner as the second, as this bench center, as a starter center, and then used it with not the main unit, that interchanges kind of interchangeable Jones and Reiner at center. So I like that. I thought maybe give Tristan Chip a little bit of time. You get 2 for the top, 2, but they were impatient. They got rid of her, and that's not a bad call though, because it worked. It's working. Coming over from FGCU where he was in the ASIN, he was always undefeated ASIN play. And his team was routinely always won the ASIN tournament to make it to the NCAA tournament. His team, and then also he won. He also had the times where he would make it to the NCAA tournament. Would go undefeated in conference. But last season, FGCU, he went undefeated in conference play. So FGCU did well also. They were a really solid team. So I can see FGCU and team doing well. There's a few things that he can improve on, in his tenure at the Dream so far, but I like what he's doing so far with Atlanta. Golden State Valkyries. Now, I really like the Golden State Valkyries. They're a solid team. They're not perfect yet. 5-10. They are 10-10. They're not a perfect team yet. I like their scrappy mentality though that they have. They have a win. They have a mindset everyone's gonna call us out mindset because like, you know, they're players, they're bench players, they're playing for Golden State. You know, like, they're bench players. They're not like stars they used to, or other teams. And now they're like stars, like underappreciated players. You know, they're getting their shots with Golden State, which I really like. Really solid pickups for in the expansion draft for Golden State in that Lena Costa. You know, she's been really showing why she's a great coach in this league. You know, and she was a good assistant with them. With the Aces. And some people are wondering, like, was she the mastermind? Yeah, you know, a lot of times behind the Aces' success. You know? Or is it just that the Aces don't have the top, you know, more teams are poaching, like, top talent, you know? You know what I'm saying? You know? Sometimes it's more sprout, you know? Maybe. There's kind of more of those, like, super teams. Like, you know, like, Minnesota's kind of one. I got Phoenix with, like, some stars. Mining in there. So, you know, like, Liberty, you could say that they're a top talent. Like, you know, there's some teams with, like, you know, a lot of teams more, like, you know, more teams with big talent, you know, not just like the Aces, you know, for a while, and then maybe like a couple other teams, you know, so, you know, and then we have, and then Washington is 10-2, and really like their core of like rookies, and like rookies they have like Sonia Sitron, Kiki Irifan, Lucy Olsen, like they're really like with getting rid of like they had Eric Thibault as head coach. He took over from Mike Thibault after Mike Thibault went to be the GM. He took the GM role and now he's the GM only for the Mystics. He is, and he knows what he's doing. Because he had, like, when he was with Lady Bell and all that, they won, like, a championship. You know, so they know he knows what he's doing, but Eric just couldn't make it work. And so I'm going on with this assistant in Minnesota. A lot of these former coaches, like they may not work out as coaches, but they're like good higher level assistants in the WNBA. You know, or like former players like Lindsay Whalen. She is credited as like a head coach. She was trying to coach in the college ranks. You know, she's a good like assistant. You know, there's like a difference. Like a head coach is different than an assistant. You can be a good coach. Just not be like a good head coach, you know, good basketball mind. Also, just not be like fit to be an assistant, you know, coach or a head coach, you know. You know, the head coach, because it's a lot different than being an assistant, you know. So, but, I really do like what they're bringing with their rookies. 3 of them in the draft. I really like that, you know, what they brought with them. With Kiki, Lucy Wilson, Kiki Griffin, and so I really like what they got to bring with them. Like, I like their core. Like, their core is like really solid young talent, you know. I really like that core of young talent that they have, mixed with some like veterans, like Nate Olson, you got Big Mama Slick, you got Brittany Sakes, you got a rookie, a young second-year player, Lee Edwards. A good young talent core mixed with some some young older players. I really like that, what they've been doing in Washington. I don't think it's going to work this year, but I could see it not it may take a couple seasons, but 2-3 seasons, probably at least 2, if not 3. I could see Washington turning into a top team, but just depending on the expansion drafts, because they have 2 expansion teams, Portland and Toronto, coming in next season. So I just don't know what's going to happen, with them 2 teams. You know what I mean? I just don't know, they're going to take it out, but who's going to be protected, So, Indiana. That's one kind of had up and down here. They've had play games without Caitlin Clark this season. And there's sometimes where Caitlin Clark is off. It's the whole team can be on. They can be good, and the whole team is playing. Just sometimes it's just the problem is that they have their young talent, they have good players. It's just that there's not there's not a healthy, at every time, injury free, all that. So that's the problem. Not all they're able to play every game. That's kind of the problem. They've been just kind of not there. I mean, if they were all Clark, everyone was there able to play. You don't have a lot of injuries. Especially there were players they rely on a lot. I think they could have it. Bad record, but it is what it is. And then we have Las Vegas at 10-11. Now I'm really kind of surprised by that one. They did pick up a nice win against Golden State yesterday, which I like, but you kind of have to wonder, didn't Natalie Nakasa do all the coaching? It's kind of like the pseudo head coach almost, or the offensive master, the one that got most out of the players. You have to wonder, You have to wonder. So, and then Chicago, they're kind of rebuilding this year. They got some young players in the draft. Maddie Westboat, they got some. They got some good players, but they're not stars yet. So they're kind of more the role type players, Rachel Bannon. Who else do they got? Eners. They got Courtney Vandersloot's back. She's depends on the team. She's good, but she's not your main star. But she's not gonna be a scorer. She's more a passer. Injuries. You got some top talent in this league. You got some good talent in this league. All the players are pretty good. But I mean, you got like some that are just more like role. They have like a certain role that they play in this league, and they're not like someone who's like you know what I'm trying to say. They're not like over I don't know. They're not they're not they're kind of like role players who fit like a certain role. Then we got St. Louis Sparks. Now they're having a tough year again. That's their first year with they've had some injuries, some key injuries to players this season. Cameron Brink last season had an injury, injured, and now this season has trying to come back off her injury and play a little bit. She hasn't really played so yeah, we can't. I don't know. This part, I can see this part because she's coming in a little bit. I don't know though about the Sparks. To be honest with you, this season, next season maybe I can see the Sparks being a better team. I just those not its first season. I don't know. No, Dallas wins. Yeah, with they had Kurt Miller. He was with Connecticut. He was really doing actually really good in Connecticut. He just couldn't get over the hump in Connecticut. And then they brought Stephanie White. She couldn't get over the hump. And she left her own. They were going good though. Dallas. He brought in Francisco Planas. I mean, it's starting to work out, but 5-5, so it's starting to turn things around. So maybe I wouldn't say this season just this season. Maybe I'll give him next season to work on it. Because you've had some games like you could have won or should have won. But I like that thing. What he's doing. I mean, I don't mind him. People say like, oh, you gotta get, he needs to go. But yeah, I'll give him another season at least. Give him 2 seasons. See if he can improve. So he can start improving every year. Depends what they get in free agency or what they get in the draft. Or they take away from the expansion. So. Connecticut's just a mess right now. They got Shane Maziani, the coach, coming over from France. He coached over in Euro League and he coached over in Euro League and the Euro League Euro Cup. And he's coached the national teams over there. And they take over in Europe. It's not like over here in the United States where they have we over in the United States we don't take here we don't take the world, we don't take this America Cups and other cups seriously in soccer. They use actual their top talent. They use their top talent for tournaments. They use top talent, for soccer. We use top talent for everything. Or when we bring on other players for friendlies, we don't. We just have our practice players for our college stars for America. Instead of that, in college coaches Carol Austin, and they have just and they reap kind of benefits the WNBA 3-on-3. You have enough players that play 3-on-3. But they don't take it like seriously. Like they play 5-on-5 and they do 3-on-3 for like the Olympics, like the really big competitions like that. Maybe like World Cup, like 3-on-3 World Cup. So I don't like that. He knows how to coach like seriously. Just that talent that he has. He just doesn't have a lot of talent in Connecticut though. Once he gets some good talent in Connecticut through the draft and like the expansion draft, they might protect Marina Mabry, and we'll see. Maybe she's been kind of injured a little bit. I don't know how that's gonna go, but we'll see. But if they can do well in the expansion, after the expansion draft, get some players draft, let's see it.